Time for a little update on my new / old Casati road bike. Hey folks, Joe back here out in the workshop again, and it is Sunday. No, it's not. Yesterday was Sunday. It is Monday evening. I start to say afternoon, but it is 6:30 as I'm shooting this footage, so it is officially Monday evening. In fact, it might be Obira o'clock very soon. Anyways, for those of you that watched my previous video from a few days ago, where I was talking about my old bike that I bought back just last week for $100. Yeah, basically I have nothing in it. I originally bought this bike in 2002 or 2003, as I mentioned in the previous video. I bought it off a friend out in Kamloops, a good racer friend of mine. Anyways, I now have it back. The other three bikes that were out here in the last video, the Trek 520 Grando, the Surly Bridge Club, and the old Pinarello road bike, those are all back in the house now. Mostly back in the house. I did have this seat on the Pinarello. I swapped it out. The old seat on this was getting kind of bad. Swapped out the seat post for my old carbon seat post that I had kicking around as a spare part now since I scrapped my old Jamis mountain bike. So seat and seat post, those have both been upgraded. I got one of my Rock Bros computer GPSs on the bike now. Put a mount on for that. Get that done. The wheels are actually the wheels off Diane's old road bike, the Pinarello. The rear wheel that was on this bike, my old wheel set, has a broken spoke. We'll eventually replace that. I took one extra spoke out today so I can take it to the bike shop, match it up for lengths, bring it home, true up that wheel, see if I can bring it back. It's pretty bent, but I'll give it a shot. I think I can fix it. And the front wheel on that bike too just needs to be trued up as well. For now, they're back on Diane's old Pinarello. That's hanging up in the house. These are the tires that were on the bike when I got it back. Put them back on. The tires that were on the Pinarello. Sidewall casings are getting pretty rotten, so I wouldn't trust them, especially with any fast descents. So did that. When swapping out the wheels, my old wheels were 9-speed setup, 9-speed cassette. The Pinarello was 8-speed, so I had to change out the cassettes. On my old wheel, the 9-speed, that came off real easy. On the Pinarello, I had to fight with that for a couple of hours before I could finally get the lock ring loosened off and pop the old cassette off to do the swap over. It's been on there for a lot of years and took a little time, but I finally got that off and got that all swapped out. The front wheel here, I still need to true that up just a little bit. When the brakes are adjusted, it's still rubbing just a little bit. So I got to true that up a little bit more. I thought I had it close enough yesterday. So I got to work on that a bit. I adjusted the rear derailleur, but in the big cog in the back, the rear derailleur cage is coming awfully close to the spokes, so I got to adjust the limiter on that a little bit. Front derailleur in certain configurations is rubbing a little bit within the small chain ring. Got to adjust that a little bit. That's all minor stuff. The other thing on the bike, the stem, which was down considerably lower, I brought it back up to make it a little bit more relaxed position. This thing was seized solid. It took me, let's see, Thursday, Friday, 5 days to get the stem out and then clean things up, lube it up, put it back in, and get her going again. So it took 5 days. I was able to loosen it up a little bit several days ago, but just barely moving it side to side, an inch or so. Couldn't move it up or down. I dropped some oil down inside, let that penetrate, and by taking the the bolt out from up here, and also took the front wheel off afterwards, turned the bike upside down, poured a little bit of oil in to penetrate, left that overnight for a couple nights. Today came back out and actually got it out fairly easily, got her back together, so that's all good. The pedals, the Crank Brother pedals, those are from my buddy in Winnipeg. Year and a half or so ago, I took those off the Pinarello, put those back onto this bike. So that's what I've done so far. Still to do. Tires are okay for now. They may eventually get replaced. I'd like to put a set of 25 millimeter tires on instead of 23s. I think I have the clearance. Looks like I do. Should have enough clearance on the front as well. I may take that to one of the bike shops, get a second opinion, and they say, yeah, that'll fit. And eventually maybe next year put a new set of tires on it as well if I'm going to ride it much. I figured I'd have this out the day I did the other video. I think that was Thursday, but that didn't happen. It took a lot more work than I thought. And I had it out for a couple of short rides just down the street and back a couple of times over the last few days. And today I had it out for about maybe 3 kilometers, but not much. Just testing things to see where it's at. So I know I got to work on that rear derailleur, the set screws on that a little bit. Got to tweak the front derailleur, straighten the front wheel just a little bit more, and adjust the front brake. I got the handlebars pretty much where I want them now, both for height and for angle. The angles were all wrong as well, so I adjusted the angle on that. Got this into a much more comfortable position now. The way it was set up, my hands were quite low, not comfortable. I like where it's at now. I got to replace a water bottle cage. One of them broke the other day while I was working on the bike. The other cage is kind of old and ugly. Probably modernize those with a couple of new ones. That's basically where the bike is for now. Let me grab my coffee here. Just give me a second. Anyways, the last couple of days, yesterday was Sunday. Got out for a pretty good ride. It was a really windy day, man. Holy crap. I think the headwinds were gusting about 40, 45 kilometers per hour on the first half of yesterday's ride. That was a 50K ride down Highway 61 and back, basically. A little bit extra tacked on at the end to bring it up to 50. If you don't know, Highway 61, that goes up from Thunder Bay. It's down towards the Canada-US border at Pigeon River for Minnesota. I did part of that ride. The day before, I was out for another ride. That was a 32-kilometer ride at a much higher pace, probably the highest pace ride I've been on for the last couple of years at least. So the fitness is coming back, and it's starting to feel pretty good. Starting to feel a little bit of power when I try and crank it up. Both those rides were on the Trek 520 Grando, not this early. And feeling pretty good. Took today off from the bike, other than about 3 kilometers on this, just testing a couple of things out. Let the legs rest up. They're getting a little bit mad at me yesterday, particularly in those headwinds. They were whining and complaining for the first half of that ride at least, and I just had to look down at them and say, "Shut up, legs." So we had a bit of an argument. My brain and my legs, they weren't on the same page, but it's all good now. So anyways, that's where we're at. I think it's going to rain a little bit tomorrow, so I'll probably skip the rides for tomorrow, but you never know. I am itching to get this out for a little bit of a faster ride soon once I tweak a couple more things, and then we'll talk about it a little bit more after that. And in other news, now that I got a lot of this bike stuff done, and this almost done, pretty soon I got to get back into working on some paddles. I got a few 2-piece Greenland paddles I got to get finished up, and a couple canoe paddles I want to get finished up as well for people. And that's pretty much the news update for now. Oh yeah, I mentioned in the last video some other stuff I wanted to talk about. I should have done that first, but it slipped my mind. I'll try and get that one done for you the next couple of days to watch for that one to come out, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. This is Monday, so this video is probably coming out tomorrow afternoon, Tuesday. And the next one is probably, we'll say Thursday or Friday. I'll give myself a couple of days leeway. I got some other stuff to do as well, of course. Anyways, that's all I got for you for right now. So if you're still here, give me a thumbs up and say something in the comments down below. Talk to y'all later.